let's talk about everything you need to know regarding a possible contribution for private health insurance in retirement. Because in my calls with any potential clients, I often notice the same doubt that many people are uncertain to move to private health insurance regarding any possible future retirement contribution. So first of all, I have to say probably most of our clients won't retire in Germany, so it might not be important anyway. But since we don't know how the future looks like, let's discuss that properly, especially if you might retire in Germany. Let's discuss about all the important points. So first of all, so-called contribution relief. If you are scared regarding any contribution for private health insurance in retirement, you can just add contribution relief to your policy. What does that mean? Let's say, it depends on your age, but let's use an average scenario. You contribute 70 euros more per month, monthly. But since your employer is paying 50% of this contribution, you pay 35 euros monthly out of your own pocket. Okay? So you have 35 euros out of your own pocket. Let's do it like this. 35 euros monthly. What do you get if you pay voluntarily 35 euros more? You would get a guarantee of 300 euros lower contribution in retirement. So let's say your employee's contribution would be, let's do it like this. Your employee's contribution would be 300 euros for your private health insurance. 50% also paid by the employer, like in statutory health insurance. Now the contribution doubles, your own share, doubles until retirement. So it goes to 600 euros. But now, and this is probably worst case, but let's say, now you have contribution relief of 300 euros. So you will end up having the same contribution, 300 euros. Might be solved already now, but let's discuss further. Statutory surcharge. Every private health insurance since, I guess, the 2000s, they have to save 10% of the contribution for private health insurance. Let's make it easy. They have to save 600 euros is the full contribution, so 10% of the full contribution, so the employer is also paying 50% of that. So they have to save 60 euros per month, also just for retirement, so the contribution stays more or less stable. It won't stay stable because of the same reason why it won't stay stable in statutory health insurance, because more old people lead to higher medical costs, and higher medical costs lead to a higher contribution for both systems, actually. Expiring modules. Well, let's say your contribution for private health insurance is 600 euros fully, okay? But your health insurance itself might only be 500 euros. This is the health insurance module itself. To be fully clear, it's just 10% of the health insurance contribution and not further modules, so it would be 50 euros per month. But I just took 60 to make it easier to understand. So we have 500 euros contribution for private health insurance. Then we might have 70 euros for any contribution relief for retirement. Then we might have daily sickness allowance that you are covered if you are sick longer than 6 weeks, because in statutory health insurance you would receive 70% of your income, but only until certain income levels. So if you earn, for example, 80,000 euros annually gross, you wouldn't receive 70% in public health insurance, you would receive less. In private health insurance, you can cover that fully to maintain your income in any scenario, which is the basis of every financial strategy. Okay, then you have daily sickness allowance included, and then you have any, let's say, nursing insurance. Okay, so you end up having 600 euros. But if you retire, you don't have any contribution really for retirement anymore. You don't have any daily sickness allowance anymore because you don't work anymore, so you don't need that anymore. And you just have the nursing insurance still. Okay? So also here the contribution, which automatically reduce technically if the numbers would remain the same in retirement. If nothing worked out, you can still order a tariff change. If you say, okay, now it's too expensive for my situation, can't actually happen, but let's say it's too expensive, then you can just change at this private health insurance company to a weaker tariff, which actually costs less money. So you can also switch to a weaker tariff, which would also result in a contribution going down. Oh, contribution going down. Now, and this is probably the most important part to understand any contributions for public or for private health insurance in retirement. So let's say you are in statutory health insurance, or you are in private. And let's discuss some scenarios, okay? So in statutory health insurance, your contribution depends on your income. So if people claim private health insurance is so much more expensive than public health insurance in retirement, this would only be the case if your income in pension is really low, or let's say significantly lower than your current income. So if you earn, for example, in retirement, 2,000 euros out of your statutory pension, private pension, and real estate, which is also income. Yeah, if you earn 2,000 euros in retirement, it would be better if you just stay in statutory health insurance. But this is not the goal, right? So if you have 2,000 euros, now it obviously depends on how high the contribution is for health insurance. In my opinion, what would be likely would be 20%. Just for health insurance, if I look at the demographic situation in Germany. So we have 400 euros contribution, 50% paid by you, 50% paid by the government. Okay, and now you have in private health insurance, let's say without contribution relief, the contribution grew. So out of the 600 euros contribution, let's say it became 900, then 450 from your own pocket, 450 from the government. So here you can see, in that example, statutory health insurance would be more advantageous for you. Oh. So if we now look at another income, so let's say you have a monthly income in your retirement through real estate investments, pension investments, statutory pension, so private pension and statutory pension, you have 5,000 euros, which is always gross before tax, okay? So you have 5,000 euros, which should definitely be the goal, because if we consider inflation in retirement, 5,000 euros won't be the 5,000 as of today. So you have another 20%. Now you have 1,000 euros contribution, 50% by the government, 50% out of your own pocket. And even if we don't have contribution relief and no tariff change, and we don't reduce the contribution because we don't need any modules anymore, even if all stays the same and you still have 900 euros, it would still be cheaper to be in private health insurance. Let's say worst case. Let's say worst case, let's just make it easy. You are in private and you have to pay 200 euros more than in public because of whatever reason. If you pay 200 euros more in your retirement, when you're old, when you have to probably frequently use your private health insurance, is 200 euros not worth it for having access to the best doctors in Germany, especially if you need them? So you have on one hand your health, and on the other hand 200 euros. So what's more important now? Saving 200 euros in retirement, or having access to the best technological equipment, best doctors, best clinics, best medicine, and so on? I don't assume that this will come in place, but let's say even if, even in worst case, shouldn't be your financial plan sufficient enough that you have enough income in retirement through your real estate investments, through your private pension, statutory pension? Your income in retirement can be even increased through rent increases, for example. So even in that case, we could at least medium term protect ourselves, even if that comes in place. So my opinion is pretty clear. If you have a decent income and you save in a disciplined way, and you plan to also maintain a certain income retirement, and you consider all these opportunities here to protect yourself regarding retirement, then I don't see any big problem switching to private health insurance, at least from the retirement perspective. So if you're interested in knowing what you should consider regarding a possible switch to private health insurance, how you should build your private health insurance tariff to be secure in any possible scenario, feel free to visit our website, register for a free initial consultation. We will discuss everything properly together, and afterwards you can decide if you're interested in switching to private health insurance, or if it would make more sense in your situation to stay in the statutory one, at least for now. So talk to you soon. Feel free to register and take care.